Collective are so excited for this series that we did this month. We just really want to basically make a movement. There's not a lot of representation for us melanin ladies, and we want to make it happen. So we decided to, go all in, create this series for this month, and just get the ball rolling. We are having Jade Smith speak for us today. We are so excited to hear from her. She is just an amazing woman. She is, our one of our melanin ladies in corporate, and we're just so excited to hear from her today. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to her. Before I do that, but if you are not following our IG page, we're going to drop that in the chat right now. It is the Melon of Monat. This is a great tool for you guys to use if you have potentials or people who, don't see a lot of us in the company. This is a great place to find them. We have a tons of reels, before and afters, things like that. And we would love to have you guys a part of that community. So we're going to drop that in the chat for you guys, but now I'm going to hand it off to Jade, and so excited to hear from you.
Hello, hello. First off, thank you all so much for having me. Sierra, Ashley, I know that you guys, and even Ariana, I know you guys put your blood, sweat, and tears into this community, and I love you for it. I thank you for it. There's always got to be the visionary that creates something that's not out there yet for something like this, and it's just beautiful to see. It's beautiful to watch the community continue to grow, and I feel very blessed to be able to come and speak and jump on and just be able to do something with you all and share a little bit of my knowledge that I've kind of learned over the years, being a part of the network marketing industry, being a part of corporate America, and of course, being a woman of color in the industry as well. All can be incredibly enlightening things and places to be. And so we're trying to kind of find a way to make all of that cohesive and help people see that there is an opportunity for them out there, even if they don't see very many people like themselves on the main screen. And we're working to change all that. We're working to do all the things. And so thank y'all for having me. I do not take that lightly. For anybody who does not know me or have not met you yet, my name is Jade Smith. I'm the Central Regional Sales Director for the Monat Global Corporation, and probably one of the best companies I have ever worked for in my time of being a part of corporate America. This is my third MLM, so please, I'm not just saying that. I'm not biased. I have worked at others, and I will tell you that you are at an incredible place in an incredible industry right now that really has probably the best opportunity for you to change your financial income, to change the way that you live your life, to change your mindset and professional growth, but also help you meet and surround yourself around like-minded women and men who are choosing to remove themselves from mediocrity, who are choosing to change the trajectory of their life, who are choosing to surround themselves around things and people that they actually want to see themselves step into as well. And I love that we have a community like this here. So we are talking about mindset and end of year success. That was my topic. That was my title. It is something I can go in on. And so I do hope that I do not disappoint. But if I do, or if there was anything else that you wanted me to touch on, please feel free to let me know, chime in, put it in the chat, or find me on Instagram, and we can all hang out and connect at some point in time later on as well. So when we talk about mindset and about how to combat comparison, imposter syndrome, doubt, disbelief in oneself, we know that that is something that plagues everyone in this industry. And I think it can definitely plague the people who don't see very many people that look like them, because it starts to feel like there's not a sense of self or a sense of belonging in that industry or in that environment. One thing that I was taught very long ago by my own father, I remember I was the only black cheerleader on a team in high school in a very, very small town called Clovis, New Mexico. And when I made the team, I did not go to the first practice. And my dad goes, "Didn't you join the cheerleading squad? Like, didn't you just make it?" And I go, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, why aren't you going?" And I go, "Well, I am the only black one. Like, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to be there." And I remember him making me change and saying, "Get your butt up." For one, I paid too much money for you not to go to that practice. So I almost got a whooping, y'all, even at 16 years old. But two, right? He said, you need to go to that practice. And he said, here's why, Jade. He said, because no one ever makes change sitting on the couch waiting for somebody else to do it first. Sometimes you are going to be the only one in the room. Sometimes you are going to be the first one in the room. And sometimes you are going to be the only that is looking at everybody else, hoping to make new change. And that was something that I didn't think that would resonate with me as a 33-year-old woman now, being in corporate America, being in the industry that I'm in right now. And I will say that that was probably one of the most impactful things that my father could have taught me, because it honestly paves the way in general of how I look at life now. I no longer, of course, I want to see so many people of color winning, and I will forever, always be a huge candidate of making sure that I see people succeed. And I think that I removed this mentality that if nobody else looked like me, that I didn't belong, or if nobody else looked like me, that we weren't actually worthy of that space. If no one else looked like me, that I was not able to be as successful as others that I am sitting around or that I'm sitting with. And the devil is a lie. Okay, you done messed with the wrong one, because we don't believe in that kind of thing. That's a lie. That is a lie. It is a lie. It is a lie. And you have to be okay with being the first. You have to be okay with setting the standard. And I can't tell you how many times, you guys, that even me being on the Monat stage 2 years ago, my very first year in this industry and with Monat, so many people messaged me and just said, thank you for being a representation. Little did I know that that was something that I was doing in that moment, because to me it is a job. Let's be very, very honest. But when people reiterate and affirm you and let you know, like, hey, like, thank you for standing up there and doing that, because I haven't seen that one being in this industry for 6 years, that means the world to me. And it also, I think it also allows you to remember too, that it's so much bigger than you. It's so much bigger than whatever mentality you're holding. It's so much bigger than even the goal that you have for yourself. There are so many people that are watching you right now and going, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. If she can get back up from whatever it is that she was combating, then I can do it. If she can go through that divorce or that abusive relationship or single motherhood or working in corporate America for 25 years and starting a completely new frame of work, then I can do it. So you have to understand too that your story, the thing that makes you different, the thing that makes you stand out, that you almost feel unworthy of sharing because you've never heard a story like that before, is exactly what sets you apart and makes you attractive to the people that are going through that right now. So I don't know who that's for. That's not even a part of my notes, but you are welcome. All right. So when we talk about the power mindset, right, and how it can be a driving force in our journey towards success, often we find ourselves trapped in this cycle of comparison. Now, we know comparison is the thief of all joy, and we have to stop doing this. As easy as it is to do on social media and how difficult it is to actually get out of that mindset, we have to learn how to stop comparing and also putting up those boundaries for ourselves, right? Plagued by imposter syndrome, drowning in doubt, struggling with disbelief in our own abilities. But let me tell you, you are not alone. There are so many people who go through this, including me. You're talking to a girl, corporate America, 9 years in this industry. I've been on massive stages with 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people in the crowds, and I still struggle with imposter syndrome. I still struggle with self-doubt. I still have moments where I'm like, I am not worthy. Guys, I literally have a sticky note on my computer that says you are worthy, because at times when the enemy likes to get in my head, or when I even try to lie to myself, I forget how worthy I am of exactly everything that I've ever dreamt of and what God has already promised me. And sometimes you have to remind yourself. Sometimes you are the only reminder. So if you are consistently needing someone else to give you a form of validation, I'm asking you today to take your power back and stop waiting for somebody else to tell you you can do something or that you are worth something, because you will be waiting a very long time for the words that you need to give yourself, okay? Comparison is truly the thief of joy. I can't tell you this enough. And at the end of the day, one thing that you have to remember is, for one, the word says that you were fearfully and wonderfully made. He doesn't say that you were fearfully and wonderfully made like Marissa, or you were fearfully and wonderfully made but you don't have hair like Sierra, or you were fearfully and wonderfully made and you don't got a body like Ashley, so I don't know what you're going to do about that, right? When you think about those kinds of things, he didn't specifically say you were fearfully made with a but. That was the end of it. That was the end of the sentence, which means that you are your own secret sauce. So there is nothing that you need to compare to somebody else, because you are not them. You were made and set here to be you, and that is what's going to get people to be attracted to your business, to be attracted to your light, be attracted to your story, and that is what's going to make you exactly who you're trying to be. So whatever you have up here as a goal, and I hope it's far more than a title here at Monat, Okay. I know that at the end of the day, I want all of you to be an SED if you are part of this industry, but I don't know what it is that you have as a goal, but I hope that you are not looking at that as that's the only limit. And I hope that you're not looking at that as the destination of happiness, right? So stop telling yourself, like, when I get there, I'll be able to do this then, right? For one, you need to enjoy the process. For two, you need to also understand that getting there is probably the funnest part. It's when we get there, when we spent all of our time trying to achieve something, that when it actually happens, has anyone ever like done something and then kind of felt like this is it? Like it didn't really come with anything. You were kind of thinking it was going to be much greater, much better. And I am super excited to finally step into this. And then you get there and you're like, okay, but I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel my happiest because I thought that this thing or this title or this amount of money or this accomplishment was going to do that for me. And it's because we're putting it in the title of the thing. We're putting it in a name. We're putting it on something instead of on you. Instead of on the process that it took you to get there, on the growth that you earned and that you were able to make when you made that journey happen, right? So let's make sure too that we remember that comparison robs us of our unique journey and the progress we've made for ourselves. Nobody has the testimony you have. Nobody has overcome the things that you have. Nobody has that story that you have. And your story is what's going to set you apart. So I do hope that you own your story. I hope that you remove shame from your story. And perhaps that might be why some people don't share fully their story. But I do hope that you understand that there is, even if there's just 1 or 5 that are sitting here and that are going, oh, I totally resonate with that, you are doing your part. That is why you went through what you went through, is to help somebody else get through it. A lot of times your testimony isn't just for you, it's for other people that are going through the same test, that you have to share how you overcame that. And you have to be able to help people get through that as well. Okay, when you realize it's bigger than you, you treat it that way, right? Imposter syndrome is a silent enemy, whispering lies of inadequacy. Okay, but honestly, if I can assure you of anything, you are not an imposter. You've earned your place through hard work, dedication, and the unique strengths that you bring to the table. So stop thinking that you are not qualified for this. Stop thinking that you're not a salesperson enough for this, that you are not able to make things happen, that you cannot recruit. Anytime that you say those things, I need you to combat it with I am. So anything that you think that you are not, you need to be able to write that I am, because that is what is plaguing you as well. A lot of people don't understand that there is a lot in the words that you speak to yourself. I don't know if I have any moms on the call, or maybe aunties, or, friends with babies. So you're an auntie by default, because you already know if your bestie has a kid, it is your baby as well. That's your responsibility. When you think about this, as a mom of 2, one thing that I had learned very, very early on, or actually a lot later on, I learned if I wouldn't tell it to my daughter, then I need to stop saying it to myself in the mirror. So if I wouldn't sit there and tell my daughter you're fat, or that I hate your nose, or that your hair is not good enough, or that your skin color should be just a tad bit lighter to be accepted, then I should not be saying that to myself. I should not even feel those thoughts. If it's not something I want repeated down in my lineage, that it's going to end up becoming a generational curse, or something that could end up completely taking over them, that they will own as something that will hinder them, then it is not something that I can speak over myself and over my life. And I do hope that if that is something that you're doing, stop doing that. I just listened to Lindsay Pleviak's podcast yesterday. I love her. She's one of my leaders in Tennessee, and she said, and I actually found myself catching myself today, she said that we have to release the title of anxiety, or whatever it is that holds you, depression, whatever that is. And she even said, I have to even start rethinking my mind and to stop saying I have anxiety, or when I have my anxiety attack. And I almost said on a call today, I have anxiety, or I'm anxious and this is what I do. And I had to retrain myself in thinking, oh, when I have a moment of feeling anxious, because it is a feeling, it is not who I am not owning it, it does not have power over me anymore, so I am not accepting that, I am not giving it a title, it is not a crown that I wear, so it is not something that I am at all. I am not that. It is something that I have struggled with, and something that I am overcoming, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Amen. So when she said that, it was so, immediately my head went, no, we're not doing this anymore. And I didn't even realize how often I do it until I actually heard that saying of, I am not that. I do not have to own that. I do not have to carry that. So if that is something you do, I need you to start working on it. And you're going to hear yourself, because you're going to stop yourself and you're going to be like, okay, how do I say this without owning this? So whatever you own, I need you to write it down. And then I need you to rewrite the word or the sentence that you will put in place of whatever it is that has dominion over you right now. I don't know what that is, but we got to get rid of it, okay? Doubt is a natural companion on the road to success. It's the shadow that lingers when we step out of our comfort zones. Embrace it, but don't let it define you. Use it as fuel to push past boundaries and prove to yourself what you're truly capable of. We all have doubts, guys. Even the owner of Starbucks had a doubt. Even the owner of Amazon had doubt. Michael Jordan had doubt when he got kicked off the team. Oprah had doubt when she lost her first job and got fired. Think about the people who are super successful. Tyler Perry had doubts when he was sitting there trying to write these stories and these plays while he was homeless living in his car. And look at them right now. Like, these are not things that we have to continue to hinder us or to hold us back. These are things that are a part of our journey. Okay, you second guessing yourself is a moment of you deciding whether or not you're going to push past the doubt or if you're going to let it continue to define you. It's completely up to you. Right? Disbelief in oneself is a hurdle we all face at some point, and probably multiple times, even a day, right? But remember that your potential is limitless. So believe in the power of growth and your capacity to learn, to adapt. You have within you the ability to achieve greatness. That is something that you have to remember. It is not something that I need you to wait to hear on the next call. It is something that I have to, write it on a sticky note, put it as a background on your phone, but it is something that you need to continue to push for yourself and be able to see for yourself and believe for yourself. And the only way you believe it, guys, is repetition. I'm going to be completely honest. If I wasn't consistently telling myself that I was not all of the things that I thought I was, then I would not believe them. So the same way that if people get in their word, then you eventually believe exactly what he has said about you. The same way you need to do for yourself, and if you combat anything like that creates a disbelief, right? So those are some tools and some things that you can kind of work on right now when it comes to your mindset. Now, when we talk about end of year success, and we talk about some of the things that you need to work on in order to see your business or yourself get to where you're trying to go. For one, it's going to start with your morning routine. I'm going to be honest. If you don't have one, get one, figure it out. I don't know what it looks like. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, 15, 30, or an hour, but you have to have a routine. The reason being is because the routine that you start with is what's going to discipline you for the day. And if you are able to check off something that you are telling yourself mentally that I'm going to do on a daily basis, then whatever else that you have on your to-do list for that day is something that you are going to see as I have to finish that too. So if my routine consists of me making my bed, making a cup of coffee, and spending 5 minutes journaling or being in prayer, and I can complete at least 2 of those things, I am checking things off in my list mentally, saying that I am productive already when I start my day. Therefore, I can be productive the rest of my day. In business, if you do not have a routine that keeps you on guard for what you have to do for the rest of your day, if you start even 1 inch outside of this routine, you are potentially ruining the rest of your productivity when it comes to the day, because now you have decided I'm not going to follow suit with anything else I promised myself. Therefore, this business, I'm not going to follow suit with anything else that I said I was going to do either. All right. One thing that my therapist, and amen to therapy, said was for somebody who kind of gets down, like I can go through highs and lows and stuff like that. One, I noticed that the weather seemed to mess with my mood. I live in Arizona. If you don't live here, it is sunny most of the year. We literally have 2 seasons. It's summer and then it's a little cold. That's about it. We don't even get a winter time. I'm not even going to call it that. All right. It hits like end of October and now everybody puts on a sweatshirt. That's it. That's what we get. Okay, I think the lowest is like 50. That's all we get. And when it's not sunny outside, I am in a mood. I am like, how dare you, son? How dare you not show up, right? Vitamin D is also the lack of vitamin C or vitamin D deficiency actually is, it relates to a lot of illnesses, chronic illnesses, guys, like MS, all the things, lack of vitamin D. That's lack of sunlight. When you think of that, like that people are actually ill and bedridden for lack of sunlight, when we get that for free, let's just be very clear. We get that for free. I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to schedule it. I can step outside. That's part of my routine now, that when I walk my dog Rex, I step out and I sit on the front of my step and I just take in some sun. I let him walk and I just allow myself to have a little moment between me and the sun and I just soak it in. That is a part of my routine. That makes me feel good. For some people, they love overcast. I don't know why. What is it that you love about clouds? Make it make sense. Please. But if that is you, I still love you. Don't worry. I know people that are into it. But hey, you do your thing. Also, protein. Protein actually helps your mood. It actually allows you to focus. So if we have protein shakes in Monat, you guys. We have things that you can actually take every single morning and do it quickly in order to stay on track with making sure that you are fueling your body with something that is going to be a mood booster. Okay, so for anybody who needs the mood booster, okay, if you got kids, I know you need a mood booster because these kids will take you out quick. All right? They will. I used to call mine terrorists, but I'm not going to give them that name because we rebuked that a second ago, right? But I kid you not, my kids, they just had a way of, if they're in a bad mood, now I'm in a bad mood, right? If you off, now I'm off. If your routine ain't right, now my routine ain't right. If you slow and you're not getting out of bed on time, now we're all slow. So see how somebody's actions can affect somebody else. I want you to think the same way that you are with your business. You are the CEO of your business. So if you start off today, guess what the rest of your team and your industry and in your community and in your business and downline is going to do? You don't show up to team calls on time, guess what your team is going to do? You don't show up at all, guess what your team is going to do? You don't show up when you said you're going to do it and it's canceled because you had a rough day, guess what your team is going to do? Now it's all based on feeling. Now me showing up for the call is based on if I feel like it. When in business, a CEO does not get to decide if he wants to open up Walmart tomorrow. Can you imagine the news articles and the places that would be in front of Starbucks if they all decided not to open tomorrow? The world would be in a tizzy. For real. They would be like, wait a minute, something's wrong. Oh, I've been to 5 and they're all off, right? Think about that. You want your business to be that important, right? You want people to be knocking on your door like, hey, I'm trying to get a sale in here and you're not responding. What's going on? Why can't I get my order in? That's what you want. So if you're sitting here with people on your team that got questions, that are involved, that are invested, that's a good thing. You can have boundaries. You can tell them your hours. That's fine. Now don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to be open 24/7 like 7-Eleven. It's a no. Okay? But I am telling you you need to make sure that you are available to run your business at all times in order to be a business that is continuously growing and going, even when you get, larger in life into this business and you become the Sarah Hills who have been here 8 or 9 years, and your business is going to make money in your sleep. Until then, guess what it does require? A little bit of hustle, gang. It does. We have to do a lot of what we don't feel like doing in the beginning to get to where we want to go. It just is the reality of the business. So if people are like, I really didn't feel like getting on that call, some of those people get on my nerves, all I hear is excuses. That's all I hear is excuses. Oh, I wish that we had more and more of this. So somebody who's already not obtaining or taking in any of the tools or resources that are already available, but consistently telling you what you could be doing differently is also an excuse. What you are saying is, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So now you're saying that my business, in order for me to work my business, it's got to be convenient for me. That's not how business works, and that's not how CEOs work. One thing that I remember growing up young, what did they say? Like, the customer is always right. I learned that very young, very, very young. You tell me if the CEO enjoys the customer that comes in that is dead wrong, right? And they have to sit here and make sure that they give a form of customer service to keep that person because their business is more important than their pride. Let's be real. This is what distinguishes and makes a difference between the person who's working in customer service at Walmart and the person who owns it. Two different people and mindsets, because the people that are working in customer service are usually not nice. Okay, this is why I don't go to Walmart anymore anyway, y'all. I'm Target all day. I'm sorry. Call me bougie. I don't care no more. It's always something going on at Walmart. It's scary. Always. See, Sierra, she gets it. I just posted something in my stories the other day where somebody was like looking back while they were trying to shop and there was screaming going on. And you're like, why? Walmart? Why you always got to act like that? Oh, yes, we're bougie. I don't care no more. I'm owning it. That I will own. And I am proud of it. All right, moving on. Gratitude. there's got to be a way that you maintain gratitude, whether it's through a journal, whether it's telling your kiddos every single day, I love you, I'm grateful for you. Even if you had a rough morning, please know that I still love you. Whatever that looks like, recenter your heart posture, recenter yourself in a way where you are reminded of the things that actually are blessings throughout the day. Because when we're going through a rough season and when we're unhappy with self, or maybe even with our business progress, sometimes it looks like everything is going terribly. Right? Have you ever heard people that are like, when it rains, it pours? Your car done broke down, the tire done flew off, you lost your keys, the dog ran away this morning, so now you done stepped in dog poo and you're pissed, right? Like when you think about all these things, it's like, okay, granted, that sounds like a rough morning. I would tell that person, do you need a hug or do you need a cake pop? Because I can give you both. Because you need something. You need some sugar, either this kind or the real kind, whatever it is, right? But at the end of the day, you still got a roof over your head. You still got clothes on your back. You still got a meal that you get to eat at the end of the day, right? You still have all of your family and friends alive, Lord willing, right? When I think of those things, I'm reminded very quickly of how minuscule all the other things that could have ruined my day are. Recenter your heart posture. Find things and ways to be reminded of what you are truly, truly living in. Because the very small things that are controllables that you can eventually go, you know what, it's fine. Don't let those things get to you anymore. Because that also, if you do it regularly, it will affect your business. The one customer that's going to fuss all day is going to affect your business. The one customer that decided that no matter how much time you put into them, they still don't want to join you, it's going to affect your business. That rejection, when you've been working on this person for 10, 20, 25 days, and eventually they say, you know what, I'm just deciding I don't feel like doing it, that affects your business and how you handle it, right? So remembering like, oh no, we got to detach ourselves from the outcome, a lot of these things, in order to keep it pushing. It's just the way that it works, right? So in this business, I'm going to tell you the same way that my sister told me when I tried to model years ago. Well, she said, I'm just going to let you know right now, you're going to hear 1,000 no's before you hear one yes. And boy, was she right. And if she hadn't told me that, I would have felt in that moment like, you know what, this is not for me. I can't do this. Clearly, if nobody's saying yes to me, I'm not capable of doing this. But the fact that she set me up with an expectation of understanding like, hey, this is not a business where yes comes easily, then you have to understand you got to work for it. That's the same thing in this industry. Same thing with this business and network marketing. Yes does not come as easily. Selling is not easy. It is not. It is a gift. It is a talent. It is something that you have to learn how to be able to network with people. You have to be able to converse with people. You have to be able to meet people where they are. You have to change up how you have the conversation, because this person you might be bubbly and then this person you might not. Right? And you're not changing your personality, but you are changing the way you speak to the person who you are trying to gain, that you are trying to have join you in this business. Don't ever stop being yourself just because of who the prospect. Please don't do that. If you ever feel that you need to change who you are for the prospect in order to get them, that's not your prospect. Let them go. Qualify your people. Because if they're over here like, are you going to be talking like that all the time on these calls? Like, do you have to talk about Jesus all the time? I do. If that's an issue, let me know, boo-boo, because there's a million other people that don't. And I promise it's okay. I love you. I will be praying for you. I wish you nothing but success. But maybe this ain't the avenue. Because one thing I'm not going to do is not talk about my God and what he's done for me. I'm sorry. Just saying. It's just not me. That's just not me. And here's the thing that I love is there are so many people I could direct you to that don't do that. Sharing is caring here. I'm okay if I'm not your vibe. What I'm not okay with is when you try to tell me that my vibe is off and I need to shift. The devil is a lie. He said, I was fearfully and wonderfully made. Therefore, I'm going to stay right here in my business with my edges, and I'm going to continue on drinking my water, and you can move on to the next. Thank you, next, Ariana Grande, for the song, right? We're keeping it moving. Right? She named 4 failed relationships and nobody was hating. We were all bumping that song. Okay? We still do. Anyway, and moving along. Okay, so gratitude. How do you start your day? Mindset, podcasts, and audios. Listen to things that are going to feed you. The same way that you watch scary movies and you watch trash TV. Don't get mad at me for saying that, y'all. I love watching the Kardashians. I don't know why, but it's funny. It just is, especially when they fight. I'm like, oof. Right? I feel nosy. I'm the neighbor that's going to be through the blinds. Okay? I'm looking. I might record. I might. I might whip out the phone. I've never posted anything to World Star, though. I'm not that friend, I promise. Right? But if you are going to allow yourself to take that kind of stuff in on a consistent basis, just because of pure enjoyment, understand that you also have to feed your things positivity. You have to feed yourself the things that are going to help you get back on track with mindset and how to shift your business, how to take care of yourself while in business, how to handle objections, right? There are plenty of tools and resources that are out there and that are available to you. Find them. Lindsay Pleviak is a great one. Bob Heilig on the podcast as well is a great one. I Am Boss Lee, God rest her soul. She still has hundreds of episodes that are up that you could still go listen to. Use the resources that are available to you. It kills me when people go, I don't really know how to have a conversation. No, you don't want to know how to have a good conversation because there's tools available to you that you could have found months ago, that you have chosen not to go outside of your own mind instead of waiting. Trent Shelton is a great one. I absolutely love him. You guys, I remember him before he got famous. And I actually saw him walking in Fashion Square one day. It took everything in me not to yell his name. Okay, everything. We walked by with my son and I go, do you know who that is? And he was like, no. And I pulled it up on my Instagram and he was like, oh, that's cool. Go say hi. And I'm like, I don't know him, boy. You don't walk up to random people. Right? I'm not like a fan. I'm not one of those people, but it's just cool when you meet people that you've seen on Instagram, you know, like that's interesting. Anywho, okay, reading for personal and professional growth. If you are not a reader, go back to podcasts. You know what floats your boat. Do not get super motivated off this call and be like, I'm buying all the books. I'm about to read a book a month. No, you're not. If you haven't read in the past 5 years, do not go buy all the books. Go start with a podcast, get yourself in the right mindset, buy one book, and discipline yourself to finish that book. If you can, then continue down the rabbit hole. The last thing I want you to do is feed yourself so much with motivation and excitement, right, that you have now overwhelmed yourself with work to do instead of working on your business. That's not what we're doing here, right? This is to set you up for success, not give you other distractions. Okay? Visualization and affirmations. Where are yours? I used to have something on my phone, like as soon as you logged in, that said, pray more, worry less, because I was a worrier for everything. It was a consistent worry of everything. Oh my goodness, what if I'm late picking up the kids? What if I don't have enough money for this? I was a consistent worrier. Find ways to combat the things that you deal with on a daily basis. Goal setting and planning. Set clear, achievable goals for both personal and professional growth. This is important. Here's why. Personal growth, because you are not just Monat. You are not just the industry you're in. So let me tell you something. If you allow your worth, and my boss told me this, Jensen Reyes, I love you to death. I know she might not be on here right now, but she told me one time, you have to learn how to not allow your worth to be tied to your job. You cannot do that, because guess what will happen? You will get disappointed anytime someone doesn't give you validation, anytime someone looked the other way, anytime you worked hours and hours on something and then they decide not to go with it. And it's not even saying that I've dealt with all of those things, but it was just that moment of reflection that I put so much into my work that that's all I felt like I was worth. That was it. That was my identity. And then I lacked taking care of myself, giving my kids the bare minimum, because I was so involved and I wanted to be great at what I did, and I did it. I got Rookie of the Year my first year here, which is very hard to do with thousands of employees. And I was proud of myself, but I let everything else fall. And I became a second priority to my own job. Don't do that to yourself, because guess what happens? Not only is it burnout, but you begin to resent what it is that you're working for. Don't let this job make you resentful. You're doing it for a reason. Keep that at the top of your mind. Remember that, okay? Because that is what's important. Networking and relationship building. Guys, if every person you meet, you're trying to bring into the business, you're not networking properly. Okay? Because this is one thing Taylor Culver in Texas is probably the most genius at. When I tell you, when I do events with her, she has a network person, or she has a person for balloons, she has a person for cookies, she has a person for photography, she has a person for music, and all these people own their own businesses. And all she says is, hey, this is an opportunity for you to bring your card so that other people can use your business another time too. If you want to come, I'd love to be able to do that. If you know, we can kind of collab together, and then I could, you know, pay on a discounted price. And it is the most genius thing I have ever, and some people do it for free because they want their business just to be out there. So you meet somebody who does charcuterie. Maybe you're like, oh, she would be great in Monat. Why don't you talk about using her for her charcuterie first, and not using her because that sounds very manipulative, but you know what I mean? Using her gifts, right? To be able to connect you to, and then going, oh my gosh, you could totally do both. Remember that this is an and business. Meet people already in business. So many people are like, oh, if you're already doing something else, I don't want to distract you, or like, I want you to be focused on this and only this. The devil is a lie. We are in the era of entrepreneurship, meaning there is 7 streams of income at least that millionaires have. Guys, look at our millionaires. They run other businesses. So go and network with people who do that as well to continue to build your network. And then one day when they decide, you know what, this isn't making enough, especially around this season, I really thought about when you invited me to that event, I'm interested now. See how the networking can turn into a relationship that later turns into them becoming a business partner. Importance. Self-reflection. Take time to reflect on your progress, your challenges, and your achievements. Okay. If you're not journaling or writing notes consistently as you work your business and have calls with all of your people, I need you to start doing that. And I need you to also self-reflect either weekly or bi-weekly, every single month, because this will allow you to decide like, okay, I'm going for this goal. I'm going for this amount of money. How far am I right now? Where am I at? Where are my numbers right now, and where do I want them to be? If I'm currently at 250 PV and I need 1500, okay, so what am I going to do to get that? Let's break that down, remove the other 250 that I already have. I have 1300 left, or I have, what is it, like 1250 or 1350 left? Math is not my strong suit, and we're moving along, okay? I got 1350 that I need. I got 1350 that I need now, right? What am I doing? How am I breaking that down? I'm going, okay, that's 8 VIPs with this bundle that's going to give me 250 a piece, and we're done. Do you see how we break that down? We make sure that we understand where we're at, what we need, and we break down what we need in order to get that. We add it up slowly instead of just going, I need 7 new business partners. That's not a controllable. You cannot guarantee 7 people are going to join you every single month. You can guarantee 7 sales. You can. You know why? Because there's at least 4 paydays in a month, every single Friday. And everyone in your network, whether they're a part of business, a part of Monat, like Monat, haven't heard of it before or not, they all get paid. And everybody washes their hair and takes care of their skin. At least I pray that they do. If they don't, I'm not talking about it. That's just nasty, right? But still, you have so many people who are available to become a customer first. And it is the loyal customers that are going to bring you referrals and eventually turn into somebody who goes, you know what? I'm loving the results. I see you consistently going on trips. How do I do what you're doing now? You're convincing me. And how did that also work? Was being consistent. If someone doesn't see you showing up for your business often enough, then they're not going to see you on trips. They're not going to see you earning things. If you're not sharing your achievements, and they don't know what they can actually achieve themselves. So think about this. You are the poster child for everybody who's not in Monat right now. What have you achieved? Where have you gone? What are you doing consistently? And how often are you showing me that I can do it too? Because if it is none of those things, then this is why nobody's joining. This is why enrollment is a challenge, because they haven't seen anything to enroll with or enroll for. There's no reason to enroll, right? So we've got to make sure we give them reasons every single day. There's the business side. You can earn some money. You earn trips. Let me be honest with you really quickly. How many jobs have you had that said, hey, you could make millions here? How many jobs will actually tell you, hey, we got a club to be in the $1 million club or the $1 million club at the end of this? How many take you on a trip to Bahamas for your hard work for a week and your family for free? How many send you to Vegas? Right? That's not normal. That doesn't happen. Better yet, how about this? How many interviews have you gone on where they say your hard work will depict how much we pay you? They tell you before they even see your hard work and your professionalism how much you're worth. Right? That's the interview process. And a lot of times you are paid way less than your value. It just is what it is. These businesses got to make money too. So when you think about the difference between being able to own your income, create your paycheck, and achieve a lot of these things that other people feel like is not achievable, In showcasing that, you are showing somebody a different direction that they could live their life through what you are doing. That is how you build the opportunity. Your validation of that this is actually working is what's going to help people join you or make them want to join you. All right. Okay, now things you can continue to do: set clear goals. We talked about that. Provide training and education. This is a form of training and education. Offer regular training sessions and workshops on product knowledge, sales techniques, effective network strategies, but this is something that you're going to have to be doing consistently, because there are going to be 5 new people that are going to be staring at you every single month, at least 5, I hope, right? That are now going to go, teach me this. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, we've had so many calls about this. I don't want to keep feeling like a broken record. Be a broken record, because if there's 10 new people watching you, then that broken record is what's going to teach the next 5 who could potentially give you the next director. Amen. That's going to say, oh, if it weren't for your training, I definitely wouldn't have known how to have that conversation. Okay. Personalized coaching. Provide one-on-one coaching and mentorship to team members based on their individual strengths and areas for improvement. If you do not have one-on-ones already on your calendar with people who are in the business and who are showing up, you need to start doing that. Here's the thing. You can do group coaching based on where they're trying to go. So if you have all brand new newbies, guess what? I'm putting them all on a call. When one surpasses all the others, then I'm going to have a one-on-one with her. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to have a one-on-one with 3 people every single week who never show up to the training calls, who never show up to the team calls, who don't engage with the chats, who don't bring VIPs in every month, who don't enroll at all, who always complain but never do anything else, right? Do you see where I'm going with this? There is somebody who is going to drain you and somebody who's going to be able to give everything back that you're putting into your business. You better decide and put them in buckets. Keep loving on everyone, but there's going to be a certain way you do it. And one should give way less time from you. Way less time. If you struggle with this, make sure you start giving a call to action for the people who don't show up and do the work. Just say, you know what? I want you to go ahead and create a bundle that aligns with you. Tell me your top 3 products. Boom, here it is. Okay, I want you to go build this cart, and I want you to talk about this in your stories for the rest of the week. When you get 2 people to buy it, then we can chat. I want to hop on a call for an hour. What I am essentially saying is that you are working for my time. I am a CEO. Ask me how often I speak to the CEO of Monat. It's not every day, right? So you have to make sure that this is something. Granted, I talked to him yesterday and I saw him today, but I mean, still, we're very lucky. Anyways, but this is real, okay? You have to make sure that you are setting people up with an expectation that you will do something here and I will help you. But I am not going to continue to enable someone unwilling to work and who's always going to make excuses. If that is the case, then consider yourself working very hard for very little return. Just saying. Set up those regular check-ins and then emphasize consistency and persistence. Encourage your team to stay consistent in their efforts, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. We know that consistency is key to long-term success here. So do you have a week or do you have a training on how to prepare when life inevitably happens? Do you have something like this? Heaven forbid something happens to a family member. Heaven forbid you lose your home. Heaven forbid your spouse loses their job. Heaven forbid you lose your job. Are you prepped for when you're mentally checked out to still run your business? Do you have automated emails going out? Do you make sure that your content is batched for the rest of the month? Do you make sure that you have bundles already set where you can post the link every single week and talk about it and post the video that you created months ago that talks about how you grew your hair from this to this? Do you have before and after set aside in a folder? Do you have conversations and scripts to send when people say, hey, I need help here, so that you don't have to sit here and hop on a call when you're not doing mentally well? Preparation is also of a CEO mindset. If you are not prepared for the inevitable to happen, then guess what? You are essentially saying that your doors are closed and that business is not happening when life hits me. And that is the craziest thing that anybody could do, because we all know that life is going to happen no matter what you do. It keeps going. It is nonstop. It is just what it is. That is the reality. So how do you prepare yourself? How do you prepare your team? You need a folder of before and afters. You need a folder of videos, maybe 5 minutes that talk about the opportunity and maybe with different hair types or different backgrounds, maybe different job titles, the hairstylist, the girl from corporate America, the stay-at-home mom, right? You need different things that allow you to be able to go, okay, I've got a video for that. I'm not talking about this right now, right? And you can just go, hey, I'm going to send you a video really fast. Let me know what you think. Boom. Or if I send you a video, would you tell me what you think? Okay, I just heard that on Bob Heilig's podcast where he said, change it to if I, would you, instead of I'm going to, would you? Because essentially you're saying, if I send you something, would you mind telling me what you think? You are giving them the opportunity to qualify themselves and go, oh yeah, I can look at it. I can let you know what I think. But if you say, I'm going to send you something, let me know what you think. You didn't ask them permission. It was almost, I don't care if you're busy. I don't really care about what you're going through right now. I just need you to look at something, which is steamrolling your prospect, which makes them not interested before they even looked at the opportunity, even if it was something that they would have taken. All right. Master product knowledge. Deeply understand the beauty products that you're promoting. Okay, here's one thing that I'm going to tell you right now. Whatever it was that qualified you for a specific product, that is what I want you to master. Okay. Ann Fisher is the GOAT of energy. Okay. She calls it her hero product. What is your hero product? What is a product that you can talk about and that everybody knows you for all day, every day? If you don't have one, get one. Because what I need to happen is I need people to go, oh, Sierra, that's the girl that actually talks about the curl cream every day. Qualify yourself and allow yourself to be the expert of something specific so that that allows people to keep coming to you for the one thing. And then eventually somebody's going to trust your expertise so much that they're going to go, hey, I know that you provide curl cream and all this stuff for this, but I actually really, really struggle with hydration. My hair is always dry and it's breaking. Do you have anything for me? This is where your trust now, the like to know and trust factor, allows somebody else to see you as an expert and go, can you help me with my issue though? Okay, so find your hero product and focus on that. I'm not talking about just this week. I'm not talking about just the rest of the year. Focus on the product that does something for you, that you've seen transformation from, that you have befores and afters for, that you love the most, because guess what? You could talk about this until you turn blue, and that's what you want. I am not going to sit here and tell Ashley to be a spokesperson for Violet Lights. That makes no sense. It's not going to do anything for her business, and everybody's going to go, now tell me where I'm going to use Violet Lights at. Right. See how crazy that sounds? Now, granted, she may have somebody that goes, I've got this blonde wig and I'm loving it, or girl, I'm going blonde. Do you have something for me? Yes. She's going to create the expertise that allows somebody to look at her and go, okay, can you help me out with this? Yes. Yes, I can. And this is where you can be in your stories and you can later on show other products where you could say, did you know that we have something for all the blondes? But what you should be talking about and known for should be your hero product. Okay? All right, identify your target audience. Know who your ideal customers and potential team members are. Tailor your approach to their specific needs and preferences. Same thing, okay? When you talk about your hero product, if I am talking about curl cream and for the curly girls, guess who my target audience is? The curly girls. That's who I'm consistently calling out and talking to, right? That's who my target person is. I want somebody to pull up 5 of my reels and hear me talking about curls. There is no confusion on who I help when you can do that. So who do you help based on what you are seeing transformation in with your hero product? It all ties in. Okay? If there's confusion on that, let me know. We can try to break that down a little bit more. But identify your target audience. This is one thing I teach in my MMB calls as well. You should also be your target audience. You should see yourself in the shoes of the person you're trying to attract. If you don't, I need you to ask yourself why. If you are not thinking that you would be somebody you would want to help, why? That will say a lot to you about your business. Amen? Right? But at the end of the day, I would want to be able to go, okay, I can talk to single moms all day. I can talk to women of color in corporate America all day. I could talk to military people all day, spouses, brats, all the things, because I know the life. I lived as a military brat my entire life until I was 23 years old and had kids already, right? Those are 3 topics that I can consistently talk about that also fall in line with who I am as a person. So I won't need to go into the group chat and go, hey, can somebody help me out with somebody in France if I've never been to France or what have you. Now, granted, that's actually not that's a bad example, but I'm trying to think of an analogy of where you can kind of create a question for somebody that you don't feel like you can really help. Granted, this will come up, and that's what your group community is for. But I want you to be able to have these conversations that flow from you, so that this is something that you don't need help with. This should come naturally. This is where you're going to be able to sell without trying to sell, because you're just going to be able to communicate. Amen. Share authentic testimonials and results. Guys, if you don't have before and afters, if you're not showing third-party validation from other people who have seen success with these products, then people don't believe that there's success in these products at all. Secondly, one thing I am noticing like crazy on social media, if all you talk about is Monat, you look like a bot. Okay? If every post is Monat, 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 it looks like a fake page. Here's why. You have not told me who you are as a person. I don't even know that you have a family. I don't know if you're a wife with kids. So there is no connection between you and I if I know nothing about Monat. There is nothing that I can actually relate to with you outside of the business that you do. So how else can you relate to your prospects? Sharing that you're a woman of faith, if you are. If you're more spiritual, share that. If you're holistic, share that. If you're a crunchy mom, share that. If you're a military, police, or fire wife, share that. Those are things that people go, hey, I'm fire wife too. This happens all the time. But people need to see what it is that makes Ashley, Ashley, what makes Roxanne, Roxanne, what makes Sierra, Sierra, what makes Tori, Tori, what makes Marissa, Marissa. You have to showcase the things that make you stand apart. And you know why? It's because at the end of the day, I'm going to use one of the things that connects us for why I chose you to be my upline. If there, and it will be very simple, where I will go, you know what? She has kids my kid's age. She's also a fire wife or a police wife or what have you. Therefore, I feel like I could relate to her. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and go with that one. People do this. People use this to decide where they're going to live, where they put their kids in school. People do this. You don't think people are going to think about this when it comes to who they're going to invest a business with? Think again. Okay. Provide value-driven content. You guys know that. Providing value. If it's not informative, engaging, and it doesn't educate your audience, then it's not going to provide value. Find a way to educate. There are a lot of people who don't even know what they have on their fingertips with just the knowledge that they've learned over the years that they're not sharing. And it's small, simple things that we completely forget, like how to make sure you're taking care of your hair if you have curly hair or natural hair in the wintertime. This is something we were raised to learn how to do in order to keep a head full of hair. Because guess what? If you're straightening every single day as a woman of color, right? You were literally taught, all right, you're gonna burn you're gonna singe your edges off. You're gonna burn it all up. The ends are gonna be looking like a scarecrow if you keep it up and you're not getting your trims, right? Like we learned all of the things that allow you to have healthy hair. Those are tips that are very valuable that I don't know how many people were not raised on knowing, right? It happens all the time. Emphasize the business opportunity. Woo! That one is a training in itself. If you're not talking about the business, you're not getting people interested in the business. Point blank, period. If someone doesn't know that they can earn money with you and they don't know how and they don't know what that looks like, then a confused mind says no. Talk to me about how simply how simple it is. So if I join the business today for this much money, you're telling me that in my first 30 days, I could make this much money. Notice that I am avoiding all of the lingo that you know as a market partner. I didn't say smart start. I didn't say anything like that, right? I didn't say anything in the very beginning, because what you have to understand is anybody who is, I feel, MB and below is not going to recognize the lingo. This is foreign language to them. They don't get it and they're not as invested as you are yet. So they don't know what Smart Start is. They don't know what MP means. They don't know what MMB is. They don't know what SED is, but they do know a millionaire. They do know $1,000. They do know if you bring 4 friends, this is how much you're going to make. If you go ahead and you share this one bundle that you love 6 times, this is how much you can make. So you're going to have to break it down for them in very, very simple terms of, okay, this is what I do in my first 30 days when I join you. No problem. Make it simple. Okay. All right. I'll keep it going because I know we're running out of time. So stay persistent and resilient. Celebrate achievements. Guys, again, If you're not recognizing yourself, you're not recognizing the efforts of others below you, you're not creating a team culture worthy of staying on, because people want to be affirmed, they want to be validated for their hard work, especially in a volunteer business. Okay. And then people are going to be watching how you see success here in order to decide whether or not they wish to join you. So if you're not posting any of those things because you're like, I don't want to brag, I feel like that's really, really like tacky, it's not bragging. It's not. When somebody goes, oh, let me show you how I fixed my credit score to an 800, that's not bragging. That's now creating an opportunity for like all these people that go, oh snap, I want an 800 credit score. How'd you do that? You are showing people how you did that. How did you get the Cadillac? How did you get the $5,000 bonus? How did you build a team of 100? Show them. Talk about everything. Okay. So remember, in success, with success in network marketing, that it's a journey. It requires consistent effort, continuous learning, and a genuine passion for the products and the people. Okay. In this industry, it does require a lot of combination of effective leadership, continuous learning, and a supportive team environment. So by implementing these things, I do hope that you can create a path to success. And I really do appreciate you guys for allowing me to speak life into you for just a moment. That's all I got. I hope that was it.
Thank you so much. That was so good. Everybody say how amazing that was, because that just blew my mind, honestly, because that's exactly what I needed. I've been in a funk. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be a little vulnerable. I've been in a funk. I've also been helping my husband with his online business, and I have not been giving my all to this. And I've been telling myself for the past few days, like, this, I've got to get my butt in gear. I got to get back on my stuff. And this just set it off for me. Thank you so much, Jade. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who hopped on here today. We will catch you guys on our next series.